welcome to this episode. This is Heart to Heart Conversation, and I have a sister of mine here, Mrs. Vuyiwe. She is going to introduce herself.
Vuyiwe Ngomeni.
Okay, let's just hear about you, about who you are.
Off the top of my head, Vuyiwe, I am turning 38 this month.
Beauty 38.
I know. I am a single mother to a beautiful 4-year-old daughter. Owethu Sikelelwa Ngomeni. And
so there's something about 2 names.
Yes. My family there must be a slave name there.
Whoa.
But yena uthiywe ndim. And elokuqala Owethu was mine and her father's. It was our name, Owethu.
Yes.
And then umama gave her Usikelelwa.
Oh.
Because by the time I had a child, my first child, I was 33.
Oh.
So yeah, Zambia society, when after 30 you give up hope that your child will or get married. So by the time I had my first child, everyone was like, yo, I panze awafika sis. So my parents were also very, very happy. It was their first grandchild. So my mother named her Sikelelwa because she felt that the family is Sikelelekile.
Wow.
So I have a beautiful, inquisitive and busy 4-year-old.
I can imagine.
Who keeps my life very grounded. And I am a God-fearing woman.
Yes.
And I am professionally, I would say, I want to wear so many hats. I feel like I'm many things, but that are not confirmed.
Okay.
So
still in the journal.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm on a journey to confirming all of these hats that I want to wear as a person, but they are all in benefit of my personal development and growth. Let me just put it there. So at the moment, I'm a certified nutritionist through Trifocus Academy. I'm also a fitness trainer, and recently I became a certified life coach. So at the moment, it is a journey for me that I'm still embarking on to discover my true niche. Although I have an inkling of what my niche is. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
After the video. But I think I know the direction I'm being steered in.
Okay.
It wasn't a bad childhood. I had a busy life.
You're exploring.
I explored and I experimented and I lived so much.
Yeah.
And now I am someone's mother.
Sure.
And there are times I look at her and I see bits and pieces of myself, and then I'm like, oh dear.
Father. I know that you're probably thinking, but that's me right there. And oh Lord, can't you just remove that part?
Yeah, like exactly. Because now you're thinking, damn it,
can't you just go back and remove some of the things so that your child
oh yes, type of thing. But it is also such a blissful process and a journey to watch, this person you gave birth to, you brought this person into life. And as much as they are going to grow into their own person, at the moment you are rediscovering yourself when you see them. Sometimes you're like,
you're getting to know yourself now.
Hey, you're like, hi.
And then that thing reminds you that and you?
Oh yeah. And umama uyakubuza athi so for me I'm enjoying her. I'm enjoying motherhood because I think I call him my pacemaker.
Sure.
Because there was a stage, in fact, even now in my life, I feel there are moments where if I could stop my heart at bent, I would stop it and end all of the difficulties that I go through in my life. Or sometimes I'm like, oh dear Lord, I don't think I can take this. But I have her, and for me, I said, you know what, God, even if I don't know my purpose, I know the one purpose that you have given me, to at least have a reason to wake up and push and carry on every day. So O2 is basically that mechanism in my heart that keeps it beating, that gives me a reason, to live, that gives me that nudge and push. Sometimes I look at her and I think, you would not only be failing yourself, you'd be failing her. You have this whole person who's looking up to you, and you're responsible for this whole human being. Yeah. Until such a point that they decide they've got their own wings now. You've laid the foundation, because I believe that as parents, God chooses us, to carry these beings and to bring them into the world, nurture them, to raise them. However, I feel that we are guides, Tina.
Yes.
Elizwe. We're here to guide abantu into one. Right. I think this is the way to do it, not to hold them, but not to dictate and instruct. Where it comes with the territory, but and I see the fears that my mother had. I know, understand. Lilando, mama said, and then you're like, now every time I go through something with oil, I'm like, did mama please take it back? I rebuke. She's like, no, so, man, God has been good. He's really been so good with her. I mean, she's breathing. And when I gave birth to her, she went into distress because she was running out of space, because she was big. So I was very scared. I think that was it was the biggest day of my life, the most important day of my life, but it was also the scariest day of my life, because her heart rate was dropping, she was running out of space, and I had natural birth written on my phone. It's like, but it so happened that God's will changed the last minute, and by the time my gynae came in, I was like, cut me now and get this person out. So it's been, I mean, you know how it is, it's touch and go, with this life that we are given to lead. Sure. So that's basically, that's just me till now, where I'm at a stage in my life where I'm rediscovering myself again. Being a parent is not for the faint-hearted, especially in the position I find myself in now, where I'm struggling to provide for not just myself, but for my child, and it's heartbreaking. But when you have hope in something, and you have hope in, life, and every day you wake up with a renewed mind, your spirit is revived a bit. So that's where we are at the moment.
And tell me about your depression.
Okay, depression came.
Someone said actually that let's just put things aside, guys. Let's talk about mental health, because I realized that there was actually, I said this to my friend that day. I think I had depression, and without being told by a doctor, but
I diagnosed
diagnosed
myself.
myself.
I think most of us do that. But because you read it up, you're like, I'm
tick.
you know? And sometimes it rings true because you really don't need to go to a doctor in order, because you have as. And when you see, hey, there are things, God, that are just not making sense anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's like your personalities were not being in one person. You are clashing with yourself whenever you are.
Yes. Those two voices that keeps on fighting.
They like when you like him, they like, and then you know yourself. And I always say about knowing yourself, and that's why I always say take time to get to know yourself, because then you will know when something's not right.
Yes.
And I did not know myself at the time, because I think when I was diagnosed with depression, I was 19.
Sure.
And at the time, I had felt I've disappointed my parents. They say UWC, I'm doing my first year in communication at the time, and I was not coping. Basically, I think because I was doing this because my mom was like, and I was doing it for her. I was not doing it for me. And at 19, I did not know that I can do things that make me happy. Like, I have a life, there's a need that I need to satisfy. Like, can I do something that I know will sustain not only my mental stability, but just my life? Can I, So when I was not coping, it took strain on me, because, I saw my relationship with my parents changing.
Yeah.
And I felt the disappointment, and that was hard. That was really hard. And then into my 20s, I then relapsed, if you want to call it that, at 21. And this was so strange because at 21, my parents are now so proud of me, because when the 21st, so here I am between 19 and having disappointed my parents, working so hard. I am working, by the way. I have not been able to go back to school to get a qualification of any kind. So between 19 and 21, I'm like, you know what? I'm pushing, I'm going to make my parents proud, So at 21, I'm like, yes! people, mom and dad are happy with me, my siblings are looking at me, I am a model citizen that time. And then boom, again. At the time, I am an intern at a fishing company in the waterfront. It was a year's internship, I think. And then once that ended, and it ended like closer to my 21st, I hit the ground. Because now, obviously, I'm looking first, the finances, money, contributions. But luckily, because by the grace of God, my aunts came together with my mom, and family came together. And all was well. And then for me, going back into counseling was the difficult part, because I'm very stubborn. I am very stubborn. Do not tell me what to do, because the more you tell me what to do, I'm going to go the other way. So being forced into counseling, I think, was a very good thing, because I would have not gone there voluntarily. Because that's why today I will advocate that talking to someone is so imperative. It's so important. Bodla, have someone, have a channel, especially when it comes to mental health. Have someone who is either going to be objective, or that you trust, that you can talk to. But just have that channel, because it helped a lot. And I think that is what led to me sitting here today and talking about my life and my issues and my challenges that I've dealt with. Because it's been a hard journey. It's touch and go. Now and again I fall into it. I won't lie. I don't know, that just
goes away.
it doesn't go away. And I feel that, in my personal opinion, it does not go away because the environment of which we are living now, it fast paced, there's so many things happening, you know? So my mom always says, abantu ingxaki zininzi abantu bambalwa. So that's where it's at right now. It's like, oh, wait, keep quiet, there's traffic, you know, the noise of the tata ndiyeke type of thing. So that has always been a journey for me. From 19 till now, I'm 38, I've been dealing with mental issues in terms of depression, anxiety. At 21 njalo, I started having panic attacks. And I remember they went quiet when I had the nice blessings in life was, you know, got between 21 and 30. And when I got my first car, and you know, I remember driving to work one morning, and I was feeling okay. I don't know from where. I just started shaking while I was driving, and I could feel it coming. Well, amazing. I felt like, why am I doing this? You know, something is not right. But anyway, but luckily I could stop on the side of the road, and I always had a brown packet with me, either at Beijing or Modern or wherever. And I started breathing into the brown packet, and I started praying. I started counting, praying, counting, until, and then the panic attacks went quiet for years. And then 2014 they came back. I had a manager at the time who was like my father, got a new boss, and I think it was just the scare of, you know, we don't China. That was fine. They came back again in 2018. I was like, oh God. And then further to death, I started collapsing. Like it was panic attacks, and then I collapsed. So and then I discovered it was because there was so many things that were deep seated that I was not dealing with.
Yeah.
And when this child, the man said, oh, okay, no, I don't want anyone to know about this. And till today, my parents will say, you are so secretive, and it's not healthy. And I've always thought to myself, like, what is not healthy about being secretive? Because for me, I feel like you're just gonna judge me. And then I found, now I'm at the stage like, we all got these problems. In some way or the other, we're dealing with something. But if I'm there now. I'm like, you want to make me a laughing stock? No problem, because I am human. At the end of the day, I think that's what made me realize through everything that I've been through. And now I'm smack bang in the middle of the biggest drought of my life in terms of where I thought I'd be at the age of 38. And that's another problem, where we say, yes, okay.
At the age of 35, I want to go.
Yeah. At 25, so chata, and then at 30, so more, and then at you know, and we put all these timelines in our lives. And when we reach those milestones in our lives and we don't get these things, you're like,
okay,
I must, failure or one. And we create scenarios in our heads that drive us insane because you put timelines in your life that you had no right to put them, because your life is not in your hands, basically. Yeah. Because you can plan all you want, just that's it. And through depression and anxiety, that is what I'm learning. It's alleviating it because I've gotten rid of those timelines. And that is why now I'm saying I'm okay to be in the season that I am at this age. Because this is the season I was supposed to be in at my age.
This time.
Because I feel like as a believer, I feel like God knew uba okay yenza lento uyifunayo, okay, because mna ndiyayazi uba zakubeka phi, you know, at whatever stage, and that's where kwenzeka loo nto, you know, kwenzeka loo nto sinemibono ngobomi bethu, and there's nothing
wrong in dreaming.
Dream big, dream humongous, dream. We are meant to dream, but also when they are not becoming apparent to you or they are not coming into fruition, it just means that, you know, our core ready, or
you're
it
being
is not
prepared.
Usakulungisa awukakafiki, and ke ngoku suhlala usonga izandla, okay, andikakafiki, hayi ndizomlinda apha ke xa ndixelele ubomi bumile, because kaloku wena like, if you're not going to give me what I want now, I'm going to sit here and wait for you to give it to give it to me, and that's not how life works. Is what I'm learning now. This is now, you know, my opinion of my own personal experience right now. Is that's not how it works.
Wow.
Really long, doesn't it?
Sure. Wow. You know, it's so amazing how we are forced to grow. You know, through seasons that we go through. And I've learned actually to understand that each season is meant for a certain time. There's a reason why there's winter, there's a reason why there's autumn, there's a reason why there's summer, you know, and there's a reason why there's spring. And we find ourselves not learning from those things, you know, because I believe God speaks through everything that is around us. So through seasons, that's what God is teaching us, that you will go through seasons.
With people,
you might be in winter right now, but the summer is coming. But you will have to go through spring first before you get to summer.
Can't skip it.
You can't skip it. You can't skip it.
Can't skip
you know?
it.
So it depends how long your winter will be, you know. But it's just a matter of how prepared are you in that season, you know. So I've come to learn that, you know, that there are seasons in our lives that we have to embrace, you know, and have to learn, you know, each and every month of every season. If it's 4 months, every day actually has its own lesson, you know. And I was just, you were just talking about the depression, you know, that it comes with time, and you found that the seizures, they came and they went away, you know. So there was something that was triggering those seizures at that moment, at that time, you know, that you had to deal with, you know, because sometimes we turn to, I've realized actually that there's a lot that is here.
It needs to just try, and I think if we are doing and how society has always deemed uba sidilishane njani nezinto.
Yes.
And you would know this in a deeper level as a married woman. But back in ixesha labazali bethu, it was so sikhuliswa ngabantu who are kaloku abantu banomona, abantu sungxola, suthetha izinto zakho, and that whole thing is what then basically cultivates and nurtures that.
Sure.
Because we look up to our parents, you know, and you don't want to disappoint your parents. Because and then, you know, not knowing that it's doing damage to you. Because back in the day, you know, things were different. And I think abazali bethu were stronger than us. Ngoku thina, I think in this fragile world where the environment is
pressure.
You know, the environment produce, move. And you're like, And we fail at many things. And this is the other thing. You will fail.
It's okay to fail.
And then you will pass. And then you will fail again. And failing, unfortunately, for those who look at it as a hindrance, is part of life.
It's part of life. Actually, I've learned that, in life, if you don't learn through your failures, then you're not going anywhere. Because now, the more you don't learn, the more failures will come, because you need to get to a point of understanding why are you failing, and learn what can I do.
So how do you get to a season of upasa?
You have to study. There are things that you need to sacrifice for you to get to a point of saying that, yay.
Exactly.
Yay.
How are you gonna get to
it?
if you don't allow yourself to fail?
So I guess it's a step by step of understanding who we are. Because the more we learn who we are in life, and the more challenges come to mold our character, to mold our character. Because there was a time, I think it was last year, and God was like, the reason why you are experiencing challenges is because I am molding character in you. You need to be with this person that I want you to be.
And with every season, there is a specific vegetable or fruit that grows within that season. So you can't compare seasons.
No.
Any season, any season. Where season, banana. Why are we comparing strawberries and bananas? Because you need to cultivate the soil differently for the bananas. And you need to do something different for the strawberry.
Yes.
And that is life. Andithi ngewinter kuyabantu uzohamba uyashopha uthenga idyasi neebhutsi neekawusi neshushu. Ngesama siyagqebheza kube nice.
Yes.
It's a process.
It is a process, and the pruning phase.
Vegetables, fruit,
the pruning phase.
That soil you cultivated, that is what God does with you. We are pruning. Galela amanzi, faka iseed ngohlobo, uyinkcenkceshela 3 times a week or whatever. It must get sun. No, it must get shade.
Yes.
Pruning is a season now of its own. And when you are pruned, is la pruning yiyo le inzima mandibeke nje njalo mntasekhaya hayi sisishem i-pruning season. I'm like, hayi maside sitye fruit okanye maside siyiphekele veg because hayi kudala upruna ngoku unini sana oko everything.
But how does a tree grow if there's dead leaves in it?
It's not.
How do you expect a fruit to come out if that part that needs to break so that the fruit can come out is rotten? So you need to be constantly pruned, to remove all those dead ends and dead parts so that something new can come out of you. And it's through our challenges. It's through our trials.
Mustard seed.
As small as the mustard seed.
Mustard seed. And with that faith of a mustard seed, we need to remember that at some point in our lives, we are that olive. Crushed. Or there's no oil.
Sure! My goodness. For the wine to come out,
what needs to happen?
crushed.
Get out, sky grapes. Otherwise,
for the bread to come out,
tasting.
The dough needs to be done. The ingredients need to be together.
I'm totally bad at baking, but yes, I totally understand. That is the process of life.
And it will not rise if it's not being
All I ever say,
in a good way.
all I ever say, even to myself, broken crayons still color. So don't think because there's problems.
Yeah.
Life in because you thought you'd be here. And now, for some reason, you were there, and now you are here.
Down there.
And now you're like, but that God, and then what? Sometimes you got there of your own will. Sends it my time, and then he was like, man, when come closer.
Humble yourself.
When you humble yourself, he will exalt you. Because those who exalt themselves are humbled. That's me. I was humbled very quickly because Benabla. What thank you. I'm a pants. And unfortunately, no bukayo othi, oh, hey, mama, wamka wait, what, goku, dololo, I, Shem, in all honesty, I was humbled.
And you find yourself, you don't have a job.
What am I gonna do? There's nothing else I can do but have faith and trust. And trust in a being that I have never seen, but believe in the presence. So I've had to also now reignite a spiritual life, reignite a relationship I had with him, everything just, I had to listen, I had to take literally in my room, ekaya, I had to pack things that I felt were not going to be of the life that I am going to move for. And for me, that box, that day, I remember because I felt like I'm getting rid of my life. This was my life. Because I felt like, oh, no choice. You're gonna start from scratch, whether you like it or not. And I remember my mother saying to me, Oba, and I'm from Orlando. My mom said that or never having realized there was a certain stage where she was starting from scratch during us. And it was a defining moment for me, for my parent, because I felt that, okay, maybe it's okay now. Because as Mafungash, I've worked for my family, I've done everything. Everything and every fiber of my being was about me and my family. And now my child. And now I failed at everything. And I'm in the season where I'm a seed now. With branches, I was blooming where I was planted. Gandhi, I was blooming where I planted myself. So I was uprooted because the branches of that tree were dead. It was like, okay, no roots of this tree is not working out. And that is what is happening. It is the most difficult thing to ever go through. And I think Usomizi had a video on Instagram, SCT. You know what? We all go through in nonsense. Awuzungabuye lifeini, awuzungome, awuzungaxothela imoto, awuzungaphela umsebenzi. We will go through. Uzophela umsebenzi, ushwe indoda, uphela umshado, ushwe umntatomntana. Something, man, will happen in life. But you know what? You are not meant to break. So it's all about standing firm in the storm. Because I said, make a storm. I said, and that is why I always say, now which is what brought me into life coaching, is realizing wait, life. Hi, guys, like this can't be me. And then when I woke up and I decided to be mature about it, like, no, girl, this is definitely your life.
Wake up.
Hello, get to the program. This is your life, girl. Okay, you will lose that car because you don't have a job. So I don't mind to pay anything. So, okay. And at that moment, you will come into things in your life where you feel the more you do this, the more you bleed.
Sure.
So you must just.
I guess it's when you hold on. You just mentioned something that is so profound, that you bleed. You bleed when you hold on to something that you're not supposed to, because that thing it keeps on moving, and as it's moving, it's cutting your hand, and now you're standing on with all your heart and all your mind and all your life. You're holding.
And that time is like, hey,
just let go.
Yeah,
Just let go.
Yeah,
Just let go. Just let go.
Because also, life which is something I've come to learn now. Also, fumana ntsikelelo ezintsha usabambile kuleya indaba. Like, there are things for uzishiye emva. Now usabambe ezazinto like sapa naleyo, and now ukhongozela ngesandla esinye. And he's like, beka phansi. Ndifuna izandla zakho zombini.
Grab it with both hands. Sure.
Is what happens. And that is why I became very passionate about life coaching, is because now I was going through chapters of my life where I felt, no man, I have a story to tell.
Yeah.
And someone else might be going through this. And in fact, who was thinking, hey, madam, hi bo, go handy, unandi, I-20, go 10, pangela umsebenzi alright, whatever, and now, fitness trainer, and then clients, boom, and then. But they are going through a season of their own. But when we are afraid, the spirit of fear will make you do unspeakable things.
Sure.
About your season. But I'm going through it. That exact same season. Or I'm going through a season. But it's easier for me. Because deep down, they are so Uviwe has actually given me a reason to come out. Because Uviwe has shown me, no, I can't do is wrong. Otherwise, I can't do it soon.
Sure.
Or in my bank, so it's okay. Talk about it.
Sure. We'll never stop talking.
I know.
We'll never stop talking. Life is a journey.
How many hours do we have?
Step by step.
But that's me, sis.
Episode by episode. Yeah.
We need another series.
Yes. Yes. And this is part 1. Part 2 is coming.
Part 2 coming
part 2
soon.
Is coming. So whatever you want to say, for someone who's going through depression, who lost a job, who is crumbling down, finding themselves without nothing, and wants to restore their life.
First of all,
what do you want to say?
Let me correct you. Or let me correct the situation. I did not lose my job.
Okay.
I left my job. Not because I thought I'm going to greener pastures. I had a plan. I left my job having a plan. And when things started to deteriorate within my job at that time, ill treatment, my health, my mental health, and the situation I found myself in terms of a relationship between me and my daughter's father, I felt, it's time. I got my certificate certification as a trainer. I got my certification as a nutritionist. And I was already having abantu on the outside who were consulting. So I felt like, you know what? I didn't ban blame 8 to 5 and I couldn't leave now. And at the time I was fighting for so many things within the job. I'm one person doing 3 people's jobs, but appreciation and recognition goes along with it. That's all I can say. So I left my job. And now omnye umuntu is looking at me and thinking, "Ay, but kaloku ushiye umsebenzi girl, and now namhlanje you've got nothing." So it happens that we all make the mistake of thinking that I've got a plan and I'm done. And then so it and it was literally months later, and I was like, no, my plan went dud. And then I went into some bad business dealings, trusted some wrong people with my pension money, and I lost a whole 100K of my money. Okay, so that is where we are at in life, where we're like, okay, it was hard. It still is hard. Sometimes I lay awake at night and I think, how could I have been so stupid? Was it desperation to get out of the situation I was in? Or was it the ambitiousness and the hunger for this plan I had? Sure. That I was so willing to just, close the gaps. And then I realized I'm human, I make mistakes, I trusted the wrong people. They stripped me financially.
And to someone who is going through that situation right now,
all I can say to someone who's going through something like that now is that the storm will pass.
Yeah.
Right? But while you are in the storm, pray and pray. If you are a praying person, if you are not a believer or you're not a praying person, find coping mechanisms. Go and run. Do a 20-minute workout or a 10 or 15-minute workout a day. Try and find ways to keep yourself and your mind, more than anything, your mind busy. Distract yourself from going back into the cave of, why is it happening to me? Distract yourself from that why me. Because, like I said, if you're a believer, God will let you know why you. And then lastly, broken crayons still color. You can be broken or you can be down, but you are still you. You are still complete. You are still whole, and you will make a beautiful something very soon. That's all I can say.
I felt that.
That's all I can say. It says, to whom much is given, much is expected.
Come on, somebody.
So, to whom much is given, it's not who given. Who given is when you are given nice things. No, to whom much is given, not everything nice and everything not so nice. Much is expected. Is where you learn. So, keep your head up high. Stay within, yourself. Don't change because of abantu. Stay within your own pace, basically. Stay in your lane. Don't be distracted in your journey. There's a journey that you're on. Walk it. Your season is your season. It's not anyone else's.
Wow. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I also grabbed it. With that says, this is the end. There's a lot to talk about.
Oh, tea was so nice.
We can make another one. But with all that, thank you so much for listening to our chat, our conversation,
our heart-to-heart
our heart-to-heart conversation. Yes, I felt your heart. I hope you felt mine too.
I hope you felt mine.
I did. Thank you so very much. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for viewing, for watching, for liking, for commenting in the previous videos, and hoping that you're going to comment on this one as well, and sharing this video so that someone who needs it, that one person that needs to hear all these things that we've just spoken about, that will change their lives, because it's all about healing. It's all about letting go, restoration, and pulling yourself up, and yes, that broken crayon that you still color in, with that small that you left with. With all that, thank you so much, and we love you.
We love you. Thank you.
We love you. We love you. The new ones, thank you for subscribing. Those ones that are watching and subscribed, please, for more, so that you can get more videos to watch. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Series.
Yes, 2 weeks' time.
Love and light.
Yes. We love you. Bye.